Hey, Espresso lovers, Mark here from Whole Latte Love. Got Brian with me. Then back in the back here, we got Ellie and yet another Brian. This is an interactive presentation, so Ellie back there, she can get your questions out to us so we can help you out during our show here. So please get involved, ask any questions you might have. We'd love to help you out. Brian, what do you do here?
I am the tech manager.
Tech manager.
Yeah, everything machines, CoffeeCast, tickets, phone calls. Got an issue with your machine or just general questions about maintenance? Give us a call.
So we're going to unbox a brand new Mechanika Max here. We've already got one running up over here so we can get you making a drink right away. We want to get you the basics on this machine, how to get it running, that kind of thing. We're going to make an espresso. You're going to steam some milk, and we're going to do that. Really love this machine, one of the most advanced heat exchange machines you can buy, probably. So we will let's get this out of the box, huh? And see what's in there, get it started up, then we'll make you some drinks.
On the bright side, all the extra technology in there doesn't make it too much heavier.
Yeah, except I always get the heavy end here.
Well, like I said,
right.
Go to the gym, I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah. All right, so there's our accessory box. We'll take a quick look at that in a minute. And you like to get this little thing, this extra protection out of there. And yep, sure enough, I get the back end.
Just because I love you, Mark.
Thank you. Love you too, man.
All right.
All right.
Whoop, sitting on the string there. Loosen that guy up.
Cover
here. Feet free.
Got one more over here, maybe two. And we should probably show where the where we change the plumbing connection, right?
Yeah.
Before we get too far here.
Got on one more leg here.
Oh.
There you go.
So I'm going to lift it up back in the back here, right? Because this can run from reservoir, internal reservoir, or from a plumbed-in connection. And right now it's set to run from the reservoir. That's that valve position right there. When it points towards, I'm not really going to be able to do it, but if you turn this and point it the other way, it'll run from the plumbed-in connection.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's leave it and make sure we leave it in tank because we are going to fire it up. I'm sorry, I'm having a real hard time getting at that. Little lift up, how about? There we go. Whoop. Okay.
It's coming out of your paycheck, Mark.
Yep. Okay. So real quick, why don't, let's talk about the reservoir because we are going to run it from reservoir here.
Yeah.
What do we need to know there?
All right. Reservoir pops right out. If you ever have an issue where it's a little stiff coming out, there's a little O-ring on the bottom of the valve there. Slap a little lubricant on there. It'll slide in and out a lot easier. Better view of that there.
There it is.
Red O-ring.
Yep.
All right. On the inside here, you see you've got the receiver end for if you were to put a filter on there. And then you got your float up in this corner here. It's good to make sure that that float is in place and going up and down. You can hear it moving around in there. If it doesn't go up, it won't register as water in it. So just making sure it's there and moving freely.
Okay. All right, what do we got in the box here? Well, you show that. I'm just going to get this cord free for us.
All right, awesome. What we got in here? Yeah, we got the manual. Become familiar with this. Like we said, there's a lot of technology in this machine, so this is going to be a good friend of yours when you're first getting used to using the machine. We've got a plumb connection. Braided hose. It's going to hook, smaller end goes to the machine. Bigger end, 3/8 BSP. If you are plumbing it in, make sure that you get a converter so you can plug that thing in correctly. We do sell that. All right, we got our single spout portafilter.
With a single shot basket, yes. And
double spout with a double basket. I'm going to hand you that, throw that in there so it can heat up when we're heating the machine up. We've got drip tray and grid. Over here. Okay. Sometimes you'll see a laser film protecting this. That doesn't come on all machines. It's just part of the manufacturing process. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. All right. What we got here? Our tamper. Nice low one. Love these. And we've got a cleaning brush for our regular maintenance.
Up in the group. Okay.
So, there's one thing. Where'd I put it? Took it out. I don't know where I put it.
Back flush disc?
There is a back flush disc in there. I don't know where I put it, though. Take my word for it.
Well, I don't know where it went, but it'll look like that.
There you go. Yeah. 'Cause this one has the hiding spot too, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
Now we'll know where it is next time.
Okay. All right. So from here, it's. I mean, you could definitely rinse out the reservoir before you fill it up. We're not going to take the time to do that, and we're going to fill it with some water.
Yeah.
We're using, so this right here is there's different filtering options. We'll maybe talk a little bit more about that. But, you know, I would really, really, really highly recommend, and I know Brian does for sure,
Absolutely.
using filtered water where you're going to take some of the calcium out, replace it with magnesium. That's what this BWT Aqualizer pitcher does. So you will not get scale on your machine if you do this, yet you'll have the minerals that you need.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll get asked about using RO or distilled water machine. Don't want to do that.
Don't do it.
A couple reasons, right? Fill probes, they won't register because there's no conductivity in perfectly pure water. Can also actually damage your machine over long periods because, you know, water is, you know, very aggressive when there's no minerals in it.
Yeah. It'll actually leach the metals, cause a lot of corrosion and issues to both the metal and to the seals. So
we'll talk about what to expect, you know, when you power it up, and I think we're getting close to having enough water in there, but you're going to want to have some more on standby because it's going to take in some water, right?
Yep. That's enough to get us started there. Plug it in. There we go.
And now when we power it on, Brian, what are the things we're going to see here in the PID when that happens? We'll make sure we get a shot of that to display there.
All right. Well, the first thing you're going to notice is you got the green LED right next to the power switch there. That LED is going to come on, signifying that you.
So you can see it.
Whoop.
There you go.
That'll show you that you actually have the power. All right. If that light doesn't come on, check your outlet. Make sure that your outlet isn't tripped or anything like that, or you maybe just forgot to plug it in. The other things you saw in there's a firmware version that pops up first, and now what's it telling me? It says it's cold.
You know what? I think there is water in this machine.
There is water in this machine.
In fact, we could find out, right?
There it goes.
There is water in this machine. So if it was filling properly, it would fill up, right? Automatically, it would just start filling the boiler. And then, but there's something else you want to do, right?
Yeah. So typically, looks like we forgot to do this when we did our bench test on there. Typically, you would hear the machine power up, pump's going to roar, and it's going to fill the boiler with water. That's why we want to make sure that the reservoir is nice and full. It's going to take it down probably about halfway. Always a good idea to refresh it once it's done filling up, and then prompts you through the rest of the startup procedure. So you got where are we?
The fill?
The fill mode. Fill mode to activate. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So many of these. So the fill mode procedure, we'll just duplicate it here real quick. When you see FIL on that PID, all that's telling you is it needs you to run water through the system. So you got to do that for a minimum of 30 seconds. I like to take a vessel, just put it right underneath the group, and then lift your lever, and then just watch your timer. Once you've hit at least 30 seconds, I like to go to 31, 32, just to make sure that you've gone all the way. If you cut it right at 30, it may not register that you did the whole run.
So you gotta hit that 30.
Yep.
And then while the machine's heating, you want to leave your portafilter in the group so it warms up.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's move over to our machine that's all heated up here, right? And I'll make a shot of espresso. I'm going to show you how to do that, you know, whether you're going to weigh your coffee or not. So I do have my portafilter in there. It is nice and hot, so do be careful. I like, of course, and you should too, a nice dry portafilter. I'm going to grind over here on a Eureka Mignon Libra grinder. This is a grind by weight grinder. Really makes it really easy. Now you don't have to have this, but I like it. I pull a lot of shots. So for me to just get 17 grams like I've got set here every time is just a wonderful thing. So it is set for 17 grams, and it's weighing the coffee as it grinds. Again, you don't have to do this. And we'll take a look at how you can get it around that if you need to.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it does a little bump to get to exactly the right weight, but we're good here. So let me show you what that looks like here. So in my portafilter here, it's almost to the rim. So if you don't have a scale or a way to weigh your coffee, again, we do suggest that you do, so you can be consistent. You just probably overfill slightly, and then just swipe and dish this out. But you can get an idea of what 17 grams looks like in this portafilter right here. And I'll show that to that camera. There it is. So that's about what it looks like. So you want to even that out nice. We did come with a nice tamper, the machine.
Yep.
I am going to use this one I have over here handy. You want to turn, nice and flat and level and firm. They always said, if you look back, people are always saying 30 pounds, 30 pounds. It really doesn't matter. What's your line for it?
Push through the squish.
Push through the squish. So once it doesn't really squish anymore,
yeah,
you've
exactly.
kind of got it. I also give it a little polish, just a little turn. And then I just give it a swipe off here so I don't have any grounds around the top. And we did dial in this coffee earlier, so we'll see how we do here. I am going to use a scale because I want a 1-to-2 ratio on this coffee, which means I want 34 grams by weight out. So I'm going to use this Akaya lunar scale here. I'll turn that on. Let you get a look at this. I'll tear it and just pull a lever and we're off making an espresso. We'll see how we do here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, if it's not quite right, what you would do to fix it. So we're looking for that 34 grams in 20 to 30 seconds. And we're 16 and 15. So we're looking pretty good. We might go a hair over. I don't know. Let's see. No, I guess we're going to be great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop this at 32 on my scale. See how good oh, no, I'm 0.9 grams over. Oh, no, not quite. It's going to be, a little bit more. So I didn't catch the time there, but we were in the mid-20s.
Yeah, it was about 25, I think.
Yeah, which is exactly what I like. I'm going to give this a little taste. So again, you don't have to weigh like that, so you get an idea of what the volume might be in that. We were like right when this shot was done, it makes a fair amount of crema. It was at 50 milliliters. So understand that liquid volume, when you're talking espresso that has, this head of crema on it, is not the same as weight.
Right.
If it was pure water, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not pure water. So let me give it a little taste here.
A lot of the gases in there.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. I've had a couple too many today, so
He never offers them to me.
Oh, yeah. You'll get the next one. All right. So let's go through that again. This time we're going to show you, a special thing that you can do with this machine. It is a heat exchange machine, so you can brew and steam at the same time. So let me get this cleared out. Maybe, here, I'll hand you your part of the bargain here.
Thank you.
I'll wipe that out. And again, I do like this Libra grinder where I just don't even have to think about the weight. Very nice. Let that do its thing. So, kind of the assumption is here that maybe you are getting a Max or will have a Max or have a Max. And this is what's really unique about this machine is it's got 2 PID probes.
Yeah.
One within the boiler, one within the thermosiphon, that's the constant flow water out to the group. So you can run it based on the temperature that's in that thermosiphon, or you can run it like a normal heat exchange machine where the boiler gets much hotter, so your steam pressure will be higher, and then you maybe do a flush. So we're running it in the brew temperature control mode right now, which gives us very, very accurate temperatures on this machine. And there's 3 modes on the brew temperature control. So there's BC, and I'll show you in the PID in a minute. But there's BC 1, 2, and 3. 1 heats it up slowly. 2's kind of what ECM recommends most people use. It's kind of like the medium reheat time. And 3 heats it really fast if you're pulling shots back to back to back.
Yeah.
So let me get this prepped here.
It's ready for entertainers, right?
Yes. But I would say, like if you're just doing lots and lots of milk drinks, that maybe you want to run in normal heat exchange mode, but you can switch. And if you're just pulling maybe shots, every half hour or something for yourself, maybe brew temperature control mode.
Yeah. It's good you can always just experiment with them and see what's the right fit for what your workflow is too.
Yeah. Oh, and we're hearing something over here. Why don't you tell us what, that's something you can expect on a machine when it's heating up.
You just missed it.
Missed it.
You heard a little bit of a gurgling sound. You may be able to still see a little condensation steam on the back panel there. So what that is there's a vacuum relief valve on the boiler that's letting out that negative pressure as it's heating up. So that steam that's coming out of that valve is going to come out of the little spout on the front here. That's completely normal. That'll happen anytime that you turn the machine on and it's coming up to temperature.
Yeah, so every time, right?
Yep, every time.
It heats up. Reminder, this is interactive, so we will take your questions. Nothing at the moment, but please don't leave these guys lonely back there. Where's Ellie and Brian? Oh, come on. There they look. Brian's got a frown.
I hear that Mariah Carey song playing in the background.
Which one? I'm not a fan of it.
No. It's the sad puppies, right?
The sad puppies? Okay. All right, so we're all loaded up here. Now, the trick that this has when we're running in brew temperature control mode is that it's going to run that boiler cooler. And we can see, like on our gauge right now, we're at like, what, 1.1 bar, maybe a little less. So
1.1 and a tenth.
While you're pulling a shot, we can kick it into extra heating, which isn't enough to affect the temperature of your brew at all.
Right.
But will get you more steaming power. And if we can get a shot like while this is happening, so what you do is while your shot's in progress, we're just going to push the down button. So let's go for it. I'll start this.
You start that.
And you start, yeah.
You're going to get a cup under there?
Oh, yeah. All right, so you hit that. And then you see it's actually said ST there for a second.
Yeah, look at that. It's already going up.
And our pressure is already increasing here in the boiler.
I'll let that get up a little bit.
Now I'm going to let this shot go to, I think our last one was like 24, 25 in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'll stop that there. Now you could have been steaming that whole time while you were watching me gauge.
I was just having too much fun watching that gauge. Yeah, you could totally start early. I just like to let it get up to its apex there. The extra bump at the start.
And that extra heating will stay on, as you can say, it still says ST down there, for 3 minutes and then shut off. Which you can just leave it. If you're not going to make another drink for half an hour, you can just let it go. But if you want to stop it, if you're going to be making another drink soon, hit that down button again for me if you would. And that will stop the extra heating in the boiler right there.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to hand you that, and you're going to give us a little pour.
I am.
I'm going to knock this out.
It's going to be amazing. This is definitely not going to pour onto the floor. I don't promise. I keep overgauging that milk.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Look at the blob.
And if you've seen my video, I say, art or not, still tastes great. But we do have a lot of great videos on how to get into latte art.
It does taste great.
It does taste great. So let's get a check for questions. What do we got?
Yeah, Kay would like to know what the maintenance is for this machine.
All right. Well, you mentioned the back flush disc, right?
Yep. So, good rule of thumb, keep a nice clean group head. You got a lot of seals and valves up inside the E61 group. You don't want a lot of coffee residue to sit and park there for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. So, what you do is you get your back flush disc out of your fancy hiding spot there.
I thought you were going to rip that filter basket right out with your fingernails.
I was thinking about it, but then I remembered a little trick. Yeah. So instead of having to rip your fingernails off by trying to get underneath it like this, you use the edge of either the blind disc or just another basket if you need to. Put it under and just twist it. And that pops one end up and comes right out. I'll set that to the side and get your back flush disc popped into place. And then we're going to get some Kefisa and our cleaning brush. Now, you have two options. You can either do a water-only back flush, which is just putting it in just like this, no cleaner or anything like that, and running a cycle like that. If you're a little too crazy like me, want to do it every time you use the machine, go right ahead, won't hurt anything.
The water's fine all the time.
Water's fine all the time. Yep, it's designed for that. The Kefisa, you want to do it every 100 shots or so. It kind of equates to like once a month for most people. You just don't want to overdo it with the cleaner because that cleaner is a degreaser and it will take some of the lubricant off of the seals. It's not uncommon after a back flush for you to hear a little bit of squeaking sound and feel just like a little choppy action in the lever. If you have that happen, after you pull a shot or two, it usually goes away. If it
Gets
doesn't, it's
re-greased
just
a little bit by the coffee oils.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. If that doesn't go away, then it's just time to add a little bit of extra lubricant on it. I think we might have an awesome video on that.
Yeah, like a full rebuild of
Like
E60.
a full rebuild, yeah.
Something you
can
do every, I don't know, year or two, depending on your use.
Yeah, depending on your use.
Yeah.
If you're adventurous and just want to get in there once a year's great practice, but at least every other year is a good idea to get in there and do a rebuild on it.
Okay.
But-
and then the actual back flushing procedure, right? You got
Yep.
the 10-10-10?
10-10-10, yeah. So I'm not going to go with the cleaner just because it's a brand new machine, but
Yeah.
if you do, I think it says 2 scoops. I usually just do 1 level scoop using the brush here. Just right in there. You don't need to mix it up or anything. It's going to get mixed up just by running the machine. So you lock your portafilter into place and you lift your lever and you let the machine run for 10 seconds like this. It's going to mix up all of the cleaner in there.
Yeah.
And then you can put it in the middle position, let it rest for a little bit extra if you say the machine's really dirty and you want to give it extra time to clean. And then you drop down, and that's going to vent that pressure, and you're going to see a lot of suds come out.
If you're doing the cleaner, yeah.
Yeah. Even without the cleaner, if you're doing the
Okay.
water only, a lot of times you'll see some of that come out. And the more you do it, the more you're going to see come out. And basically, you're going to want to run that cycle like that, lifting up for 10, and dropping it down, doing that over and over again until you stop seeing the coffee-looking residue come out. Once it comes out either clear like water or just suds, that's how you know it's nice and clean in there. Once you've finished that with the cleaner in there, just pull the basket out, lift your lever, run some water over it, rinse the basket off, put it back in, and then repeat those steps with just water. That way you know everything's completely flushed out of the group.
All cleaned out.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I do want to, we'll check, let's get another check for any questions. Yeah, what do we got?
Yeah, Ben was wondering if you could go over the difference between the 3 different brew temperature control modes again.
Yeah, so we did mention it's got those three modes. So if you're running in brew temperature control mode, again, it's going to drive the machine by monitoring the temperature in the group here. So again, the BC1 is a slower reheat because it's going to probably overshoot a little bit and then come back.
Yeah.
Right? So BC1 is going to have the lowest overshoot. BC2 is what ECM kind of recommends most people use. BC3 is if you're just pulling a lot of shots back to back, so you're taking more water out of the boiler, so that overheating isn't going to cause as much of a problem.
Yeah, a lot of that temperature is lost when you're introducing the more
Right.
cold water into the system, so it needs to overshoot to kind of regulate a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Now we're running in brew temperature control mode. If we were running in normal HX mode, and I'll show you how to switch that in a minute, that probe in the thermosiphon is used to tell you when you need to flush the machine, which is a normal thing to have to do on a heat exchange machine, but usually you're guessing about the temperatures there.
Yeah.
I mean, people will get accustomed to their machines and kind of learn maybe where that is, but this one actually will tell you that you're overheated. What you'll get is 3 dashes up on the top of the display. That means give it a little flush, and when the counter will start counting, that's when you stop, and then the machine will say ready, which indicates you're at the temperature that you set. So there's that. But
Easy
maybe
peasy.
let's make one more check for a question. I'll show you that stuff. Yeah.
All right, one more from Kyle. How long should an ECM machine last with proper maintenance done?
Oh, that's a great question.
That is a
We
great
love
question.
trying to answer. With proper maintenance, that's really the key word. Make sure you're using really good water. Make sure you're back flushing regularly. Really, doing the internal inspections is a huge factor in making sure that you get a really long life out of a machine. I've had machines come in for a rebuild just because they've been out in the field commercial days.
Yeah.
They've been in action for so long that the owners will want us to just do a complete overhaul on them. I've had machines that are well over a decade old come in.
Yeah.
So really it's all up to how good of care you take. And when you get inside the machine and you're actually looking and checking for leaks and just being very aware of your machine, knowing the sounds that it makes and the flow rates and things like that helps you gauge whether or not something needs to be done, and staying ahead of any possible issues is really the key factor. So you get a leak that goes unmonitored for weeks or months. That's the difference between fixing a small leak and replacing a rusted out frame.
Right. And I think and water quality really is key, right? It's,
Yeah.
Scale is the number one cause of problems.
Absolutely.
I mean, even though, like in those vacuum relief valve that you were talking about, right? Because eventually they'll get a little scale around them.
It'll
and they'll
dry
leak.
out. The seal inside the vacuum relief valve. It's something that think of it like a belt in your car or something. It's
Yeah.
going to go eventually. But if you have bad water in there, it's going to dry out quicker. You get scale buildup on it. They'll chew it up every time it opens and closes. And it's the same idea with any of the seals inside your group head. Scale inside there, scale's just little rocks, and every time that seal gets closed, you're smashing rocks in there, and it's going to chew it right up. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go real quick. Well, if you have more questions, get in the chat there and ask away. But let me go real quick through some of the functions. Now, I do want to tell you there's a lot to look at here. And so we could, I could go through every single one. I'm not going to do that. I did, down in the description, link a video that goes through in detail every single function of the machine. So if you have a Max, do watch that video. Do check out your manual, because it's all spelled out in there. But I'll just give you kind of an idea here. So Brian, I'm going to come over this way.
Yeah.
So to access that, basically, to get into the different functions here, you're going to press and hold. And then I'll just show you how you cycle through things here. One key one is AUS, which is Advanced User Control. So see if I can get back around there. You want to make sure, if you want to get to some of these other functions, that you have that on, like I do. And the way to set that, anything in this, is just to set it and then stop until it comes back to that. But you can, so there's the BTC, and you see we're on BC2, there's BC3, and you can just turn it off, then we'd be running in normal heat exchange mode. I'm going to leave it in BC2. And then again, just let it stop flashing, and now we can continue on. This is a passive pre-infusion. This is the filter advisor. You can set a standby time. CLO is the clock function. Sorry, because you can set on and off times with your machine, and if you have one, you'd probably know that. T2 is the steam temperature. So you go up to 260 here for the most pressure. And again, that's where it's going to go when you hit the down button if you're in brew temperature control mode, or if you're running normal heat exchange mode, it would run at 260, you'd have more pressure. We'll go through a couple more of these. Again, I don't want to get to detail on every single one. That's the flush advisor. That's master setting for pre-infusion. Eco mode, you can set a time for the machine to go off. Cleaning reminders, like we were talking about for back flushing.
Always a good idea.
Resetting filter reminders, because you can set an estimated number of liters. The machine will give you a warning that it's time to change your water filter, that kind of thing. Again,
That's a really nice one to have on a machine.
yeah. But do check that link down in the description if you have a Max. That goes through every single function in really, really fine detail.
Yeah,
that can help you out.
I'd talk to that just for the extra second that, a lot of the most common calls that we get in technical support pertaining to the Max are really just not understanding some of the settings and everything. So making sure that you read the manual and checking out Mark's video really going to help you out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of power in this
Yeah,
machine.
it's not complicated. There's just a lot.
Yeah. So let's make another check for questions.
Randy would like to know if the drip tray can be plumbed.
If the drip tray can be plumbed. So it doesn't have a plumb connection in it. It is dimpled out, right?
Yeah, it is dimpled. Here, I can show
let's see
you.
if-
Aren't you proud of me, Mark? I didn't dump water all over the floor.
I'm so proud of you.
All right, can we get a good view of this?
There it is. Yep.
He's gonna find me.
You got on 3. Yep.
There we go. Yeah. All right. So you got that dimple right there. So no, it is not preset up for it to be plumbed. However, you can tap and drill that out and add a little barbed elbow on the bottom so that you can plumb it in.
Yeah. Any more, Ellie? No? Okay. Let's see. We did talk about the importance of water. We showed one option here, the BWT. This is the latest version of their filter pitcher. Does calcium to magnesium or magnesium, or calcium to magnesium ion exchange. I'll get it in the right order here. The magnesium will not cause scale in your machine. It also does carbon filtration, particle filtration. If you're familiar with their previous penguin pitcher, which we were filling with as well, uses the exact same filter, just a different form factor now.
Yep.
A couple other options. If you're going to plumb in the machine, that makes life so much easier. I don't like filling reservoirs.
Best thing I ever did was switch to plumbed in.
Yeah, water's always there. But you get an inline filter, the BWC Best Max Premium, which uses that same calcium to magnesium ion exchange. And you use it as directed, you will not get scale. And then there's even two more options.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
there's
but
more.
wait, there's more. You can go with BWT's Best Save Pad filter, which just drops into the reservoir. It does require residence time, 8 to 10 hours to fully filter the water, but uses the same technology. Or their Best Cup, which is a on-demand water filter that resides in the reservoir. So it just attaches to that little nipple you were showing inside the reservoir and filters water as you need it. But those, really that's the biggest thing you can do to make sure your machine stays nice inside. And
Yeah, absolutely.
so
Even if you skip a back flush or two throughout your lifetime, as long as you're using good water, you're doing the right thing.
Oh, and we should mention, because it's an E61 machine, you can get flow control on this as well.
Absolutely.
If you did get yours with flow control, I think, I get a lot of questions about this in the comments. So I want to address it is, where do you set that? If I just want to act like my machine didn't have flow control, it's 1 1/4 turns, right?
Yep, absolutely. Good. That's always a good place to start when you're first learning how to use it. If you never use flow control, especially if you've never used an E61 group head before, set it there until you're comfortable with the machine, and then you can start exploring.
Then you can get into all that, that really, low flow starts to, super fresh coffees and do all kinds of different things. And a lot of great videos we have on that as well that can show you how to get use out of that.
Absolutely.
So, we'll do one more check for questions. We're good? Okay. Well, listen, Ellie, let's see you guys back there because you're helping us out. Ellie and Brian, thanks, guys. Other Brian, thank you as well. And thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, we do monitor those comments. So if you're watching on a replay, you can leave your questions down there and we'll take care of you there. Or I should mention the CoffeeCast, right? Where
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Oh, CoffeeCast is awesome. CoffeeCast is a live one-on-one Zoom meeting. You can meet with me or any one of our other coffee experts. Do pre-sale, post-sale, tech support, whatever you need done. We're happy to meet with you and go over anything you have questions on.
And I've seen a lot of places charge for that. It's free.
Yeah,
It's free. So go to Whole Latte Love and you can schedule a CoffeeCast to get a demo of any of these products. You even do like machine and grinder pairings and different things like that.
Anything that we sell and service, we have on standby here for us to be able to do a demonstration for. So
yeah, it's awesome. All right, guys. Well, listen, Brian, thanks again. And you guys back behind the cameras, thank you. And thank you for watching. So happy to have you here. And be sure and come on back soon for more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you by Whole Latte Love.